this is the first class of income under this head, profits and gains of business or profession. Here we'll be studying from section 28 till section 44 of Income Tax Act 1961. The first thing that we'll start with is that what we mean by the term business, because we have seen four different words in the name of this head of income. The first one is profits, and the second is gains. The third word is business, and the fourth word is profession. So we need to know कि profit or gain क्या होता है and how they are different, and what is business and what is profession. So we'll be first starting with business. So we'll see that what this term business means and how it can be interpreted. So again, section 2 subsection 13 explains the term business. It's not an exclusive definition, but again an inclusive one. I think you all know that what I mean by the term inclusive definition. This type of definition never explains a particular concept properly, but they always says that we don't know that what it exactly is, but we know that uh, which items can be included into this category. In the same way, they said that business includes any trade where we buy and sell goods, any commerce or manufacture, or any adventure or concern in the nature of trade, commerce or manufacturing. These are regarded as business. Now, but we know that as per the basic definition of the commercial languages that we have studied in our +2, we know that business means any activity that is directed to create values for removing wants of the men in the society through recurring exchange of goods and services for profit. So that was the thing that we got from the commercial languages. But as per income tax, they have given this definition of business under section 2 subsection 13. Now the second definition is about profession. Now they said that profession is a vocation. Now what is the difference between a vocation and a profession? We'll see this. But first what they have said, they said that profession is a vocation, and this was defined under section 2 again, subsection 36. The first word they said, that said profession includes vocation. Now profession क्या होता है? Profession requires purely intellectual skill and manual skills on the basis of which some, or with the help of some special trainings and qualification, we gather or we gather with some past experience, some knowledge that we can provide to others and by which we can help the others. Like for example, the chartered accountants, the doctors, the lawyers, the teachers, they all are professionals because they have some intellectual knowledge, they can have some manual knowledges or skills, or with certain specific or special learnings that they have done, the qualification they gathered through past training and experience, they are providing benefits or what we can say satisfaction to their clients. This is what we define, we mean by the term profession. Now what we mean by vocation, vocation implies natural ability of a person to do some particular work. Now you can see that there are some natural person, like for example, sometimes we see certain some particular person who have some natural skills. Either they can calculate manually very fast, like what we have seen in case of the famous mathematician. Her name was, what was her name? Can anyone tell me what was who is she, the famous mathematician from India? Anyone? Ronak?
Sir, Shakuntala Devi.
Yeah, Shakuntala Devi. You must have seen that she haven't received any practical training or any special learning or qualification for mathematics, but she had some inbuilt natural talent that she used throughout her life to generate a huge wealth for her. Okay, and she was awarded an award that her mind was more faster than a supercomputer for calculations. So in this way, we time to time we see that there are certain persons who are natural singers, who have not haven't taken any practical training from anyone, or a dancer who dances well, who haven't joined any dance classes, but he knows how to dance. Uh, this natural abilities are regarded as vocation. Now, sometimes people uses this vocational uh, power to earn their livings, like the way we have seen some persons working in this amusement parks, like wo maut ka kuwa and others, where particular persons are there who performs a particular task. They have not received any special learnings, but this is just natural in them that they can do this type of things. Like people, a particular person can pass through a ring, ठीक है, or what he do. तो ये सारी चीजें vocations में आती है, और sometimes vocations can be used by a person to earn his living. तो इन दैट केस हम देखते हैं कि वोकेशन टर्म जो होता है ना, वो हॉबी से अलग होता है. हॉबी कुछ अलग चीज है, वोकेशन कुछ अलग है. वोकेशन आपके अंदर नेचुरल टैलेंट है और एबिलिटीज है. वोकेशन मस्ट हैव अर्निंग फीचर, बट हॉबीज अर्निंग फीचर में नहीं होती. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मेनी ऑफ अस, लाइक मी, व्हाट आई मीन, लाइक यू एंड मी, आप लोगों को अपनी बातें पता है, मुझे अपनी बातें पता है. हो सकता है हम में से बहुत सारे लोग को जिनको सिंगिंग पसंद होगी, और हो सकता है कि हम while taking bath we used to sing in our bathroom, we are bathroom singers. But do you think that this hobby of singing earns something to you in a particular month or every month?
No, sir.
There can be person in our batch who loves to dance or whose hobby is dancing. Sometimes when no one is there, he or she used to lock herself or himself in a room and plays loud music and dances on it. ठीक है, he thinks that he can dance like the way the professional dancer dances in a professional show. But as this is only his or her hobby, and there is no earning feature attached to it, they will not be considered as a vocation. So what we finally got, we got it can be treated as earning means by which a man passes his life. Unlike profession, vocation doesn't require a degree or a special learning. That means now they said that profession includes vocation. Although there is a difference between a profession and a vocation, profession requires intellectual or manual skills or special learnings, but vocation doesn't require the same. It's a natural ability that a person have. But as both the things are being used to earn something for our livelihood, we are considering them as one under Income Tax Act for the earning perspective. Now, what we mean by business income? When an income can be charged under this head, PGBP. What is the name of the head? The name of the head is PGBP. We can write it like in this way. And how this abbreviation came, you just see PGBP, the famous name. This is the biggest head of income and most widely used in corporate world, because in case of companies, their entire income is charged under this head. So let me tell you one thing, that when an income can be charged under this head, the first and the foremost important criteria is that uh, the person who is earning an income, or yeah, the person who is earning an income should have a business. First of all, how you define that whether he has a business or not? To form certain class of business or category of business, we require some documentations. Like for example, we require basic trade license. For a company, we require registration from ROC. For partnership, we require registrar, registration from registrar of partnership. ठीक है, from HEF we require specific registration under HEF Act. ठीक है, we require some other additional registration process for other different types of business houses. So what we need to check that first of all, you need to have a business which is registered in the name of the SSE. Okay, then which incomes can be written under this head? The first thing that we have seen is any income from business or profession. Income there is a comma here. Any income from business or profession, income from speculative transaction shall be taxed under this head. Now, what we mean by speculative, we'll tell you. This word speculation will be defined later on this chapter. The next, any compensation that has been received first by a person who is a managing director of a company in India for termination or modification of terms or conditions of his appointment. Like for example, if a person is managing the affair of an Indian company or a company in India, that means it can be a foreign company, and there is some modification or termination of his appointment. Like for example, कंपनी उसने उसे निकाल दिया या फिर कंपनी ने उसके टर्म्स में कुछ मॉडिफिकेशन किया, इसके कारण जो भी कंपनसेशन उस बंदे को मिलेगा, ठीक है, that will be considered as a business income. Now this managing the affair means he's an agent. The point number 2, the person holding an agency in India for any part of activity relating to the business of any other person, and if such agency is terminated, then the compensation that he receives for termination of agency shall be considered as a business income. The third, any person who is vesting in the government or any corporation owned and controlled by government for management of any property or business. In that case also, the income shall be written under this head. Okay. Just a minute, guys. Let's continue now. The third set of income is income derived by a trader, a professional, or a similar association. That means here even the income earned by a trade union is also covered. Income earned by a professional body like ICAI, like we have seen Bar Council and others, who have taken the income for rendering specific services to its member. That means if their member pays anything to them for a specific service that they provide to their members. Like for example, if you are a trade union member and you are paying something as a subscription to the trade union, then that subscription to the trade union shall be charged under this head, PGBP. Next is an export incentive. Like sometime we know that till 1990, India was suffering drastically with this international trade and all. After 1991 and a number of forced, what we can say, reforms that was made by India, the international trade or the position of India in international trade has somehow increased. Now, India wanted to increase their foreign exchange reserve, which was again very low right now. But at that point of time, India tried to increase their foreign exchange reserve, and for increasing this foreign exchange reserve, what we require? We require more sell in the foreign markets so that we can gather more dollars from the foreign market, and we need to pay less to our to the companies who are selling their products in India. Okay. So in such cases, to encourage people so that they can engage themselves into this export incentives, initiatives, government provides incentives for export in the form of profit on sale of import license. If you sell your import license, then you'll get the profit that you earn from that will not be charged under capital gains. The cash assistance, sometime if you get orders from a foreign market and you don't have cash to produce such goods, in that case government provides you with the cash assistance so that you can produce your good and you can sell it in the foreign market. And last, the duty drawback. Duty drawback is a type of duty that we pay at the time of import, And if we export the entire commodity to an outside market, we get the entire taxes that we have paid as a what we can say cashback into your account. The next income is the value of any perquisites, whether convertible into money or not, that arises from business or profession. If you are doing a business or profession and you are getting perquisites from your own business, that income shall be considered as your PGBP income. Sorry. Next, any interest, whether it's interest on capital or interest on loan, doesn't matter. Any salary, bonus, commission, or remuneration that a partner of a firm receives from the partnership firm. Okay. Now there is a limit to this, so this is not fully allowed, but up to a certain limit only. We'll study this limit under section 40B. I'll tell you that how to calculate this. But the partner, whatever he gets from the firm shall be considered as his business income. Yeah, remember one thing, that share of profit is not covered here. Okay, we have covered everything except share of profit, because on share of profit the partnership firm pays tax, therefore it is exempted in the hands of the partners. I'll tell you in the later part when we will be completing this particular section that partner doesn't pay taxes on share of profit, but as partnership doesn't pay taxes on this incomes that they have distributed among their partners as an expense, then the partner needs to pay taxes on this amount. Okay, any sum, whether received or receivable in cash or in kind, under the agreement for not carrying out any activity. I think you know this. This is non-competing agreement that a person may enter into with some other person for not doing or not sharing the knowledge of his business with any other person. Okay. See, in the first part they said for not carrying out any business, and in the second for not sharing any know-how. There is an exception to this, like for example, any cash received or receivable on account of rights to manufacture, produce or process an article, and rights to carry on any business or profession. This are taxable, but taxable under the head capital gains. I'll teach you this part, that how this has been covered in that area. Okay, you just remember that this items are taxable under some other heads of income. Okay, now we'll start with this chargeability. This is one unique thing, that the chargeability of this head is defined under section 145, where we have seen that how an income can be charged under profits and gains, that is PGBP, or income from other sources. I think we already discussed this part, that sometime a particular income can be charged under any of the heads, but we have to decide that under which head we have to write it. In this section, we came across some important points that we need to remember while computing incomes under PGBP. The first thing is that negative incomes shall also be included. That means even if you are having a loss, it's not it doesn't mean that only profit is chargeable to tax. Even the losses will be calculated. If you have gross loss, then also will compute in the same manner. The second thing is that notional profit shall not be considered. What is notional profit? Notional profit is a type of profit that is only shown in the books, not actually happens in reality. Like for example, if a business buys a goods at 10,000 and the owner himself buys it from the business at 50,000, then the difference of the amount of profit that is booked in the books is actually notional in nature, because neither the proprietor will be paying that amount to the business, and in such cases such amount shall be considered as a notional profit for the business. Anticipated profit or losses, remember these things, that any anticipated profit or loss which may or may arise in the future are not considered for deriving taxable incomes. That means will not be making any provisions in the books while preparing PL as per income tax authority. Next, legality of the business. Business should be legal. The business whose income we are computing should be a legal business. There should be a distinction between legal and illegal business. But actually, income tax doesn't make any difference between legal and illegal business. But even income of illegal business can be taxed or taxable. Okay, I'll be changing this word. It should be taxable. But the thing is that will you tell the government that you are earning something from an illegal business? Government said, I don't have any problem. Income tax can take tax even on illegal activities. But the second thing is that will you tell the government that you are earning something from an illegal activity? No. No, this is very important. I think very few students knows that income under PGBP can be computed in two methods. Method number one, it is direct method, where we can compute income under this head. And there is another method which is known as indirect method. Generally, people follows this indirect method. In the same way, like I think most of you had commerce in your plus two now. Ronak, can you tell me that in how many ways we can compute cash flow from operating activities? Ronak,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. I don't know, sir. I don't know, sir.
no. Uh, I think under cash flow statement, we have studied that operating cash flow can be computed under two methods, direct method and indirect method. The general method that you follow while preparing your cash flow statement for computing income from operating activities is actually under indirect method. There is another method of the same which is known as the direct method. You can relate it with this. What direct method tells that under this method will be preparing a profit and loss account in a revised format. Here we'll only consider those incomes that are defined as an income under section 28 and will deduct only those expenses which are allowed under section 30 to 43B. We'll deduct only those. And whatever profit we get, we'll consider that profit as profit or gain of business or profession. This is so simple. Now there is another method which is known as indirect method. Under this method, what we do, we try to eliminate only those errors that are there in our profit and loss account. Suppose now how to see this, just I'll be explaining this part to you. Just a minute, guys. Huh? Suppose what happened, we have this as our PL. We write certain items here as opening stock, purchase, direct expenses. We write sale, we write closing stock here. Then we total it. And we get a figure as gross profit. Then we bring it down, gross profit, and we write certain uh, indirect incomes and indirect expenses. And we get net profit. This is how we prepare our income statement, isn't it? ऐसे ही बनाते हैं ना. Now suppose you have this with you, and after finding this, आपको पता चला कि सर यहाँ पे कुछ आइटम इंक्लूडेड थे छोटे छोटे से जो यहाँ होने नहीं चाहिए थे, उन्हें हटाना है. तो क्या करोगे आप? What you will do? Can you just tell me that what we will do?
Sir, what did you say to eliminate that item?
Yeah, I think
Right.
I told that there are some items in the indirect expense side which need not to be there as per income tax rules. So what you need to do? We need to eliminate them.
We write it on the,
No. Can you just tell me?
we write it on the other side.
No, we cannot.
We add back.
Yeah. Okay, whatever item is there on the debit side must have been deducted from profit, and whatever item is on the credit side must have been added to the profit. So now what we can do, the item which was deducted, if needs to be removed, then we need to add them back to the profit. In the same way, you just see this part, what I have done. I prepared it. I wrote net profit or loss as per books. I've written this. And then I wrote add. Expenditure specifically disallowed, but debited in PL. We added them back. In the same way, it may happen that a particular item is there in the PL account, which has been credited, but need not to be credited. Like for example, income from house rent. ये क्रेडिट हुआ है, बट ये इनकम तो इनकम फ्रॉम हाउस प्रॉपर्टी का है. डू यू थिंक दैट इट्स अ बिजनेस इनकम? नो. तो वी नीड टू एलिमिनेट दिस. हाउ टू एलिमिनेट इट? सर वो ऐड हुआ था, उसे लेस करेंगे. जस्ट सी व्हाट आई हैव रिटन. इनकम्स नॉट टैक्सेबल बट क्रेडिटेड इन पीएल. ठीक, जस्ट सी द नेम. डिविडेंड, बैंक इंटरेस्ट, प्रॉफिट ऑन सेल ऑफ मशीनरी, दिस इनकम्स आर नॉट बिजनेस इनकम्स. तो इसे हमने एलिमिनेट किया. In the same way, it may happen that a particular item which needs to be deducted from PL was actually not adjusted. Like for example, you forgot to write depreciation. या आपने depreciation कम लिख दिया, आपको depreciation और लिखना था. तो आप क्या करोगे? हम उस अमाउंट को माइनस कर देंगे, क्योंकि माइनस होना था और होगा. In the same way, there can be some profits जो add credit side में appear होने थे but हुए नहीं. So what we'll do, we'll write it on the credit side. Now writing anything on the credit side means what? Means adding it to the profit. Okay. So finally, we'll get our profit or loss from this part. But it's not so easy. You need to study the entire sections from section 30 to 43B to find that which item you can write or you can leave in the PL and which needs to be removed. Okay. There is a huge list of these items and we need to complete all this. We'll continue with this chapter in the next class.